Alrighty, gun show part 2. Here we go. Now, you're probably wondering why I got food and wine sitting on the table. Well, here's the deal. With the wine, 2 reasons. One, it is Veterans Day weekend, so I will be celebrating that and partaking in that. Excuse me. The other reason is that it turns out that at the Grand Sierra Resort Casino in Reno, Nevada, they actually serve you cocktails while you're inside the gun show if you so wish. Now, how cool is that? You can walk around all those hundreds of aisles and enjoying an adult beverage while you do it. Now, let me just say, of course, quick disclaimer, I have absolutely no association with the Grand Sierra, don't get paid by them, blah, 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 blah. So, now that we got that out the way, let me also say this. You can purchase cocktails while you're there. However, of course, so long as you conduct yourself in a calm and responsible manner. If you're drunk, if you're stupid, if you're unsafe, the gun show proprietors won't hesitate to kick your ass out of the gun show, and to help you on your way they'll probably send a squad of security officers to maybe even eject you from the casino itself. Anyway, that's the explanation for the booze. Now, next to it, I've got food. Now, here's the whole reason that I went to the gun show was to get food. Because when it comes to these things, right, these nice firearms here, I think I got the bases covered on that situation right there, especially when it comes to preparedness. Okay, so I really don't need any more guns. Well, wouldn't you know, once I'm at the gun show, I'm looking all over the place for the guy that I always see at the gun show who sells long-term food. You know, the food that has an expiration date on it for like 25 years from now. Okay, and that's the whole reason I went to that gun show, was to finally hunker down, spend the money needed to get a good supply of food, because this is what I need, and actually you do too probably, is food. So of course he wasn't there, so I'm wandering around, and you know, unfortunately the little devil on my shoulder got the better of me, and I went ahead and got this thing right here. And what this is a Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum, and it is called a Highway Patrolman. This one is a model 28-2, I believe, and just holding this thing, I'm here to tell you folks, this is one honking piece of steel right here. This is a heavy thing. Big beefy cylinder on it. Pretty nice, in pretty good condition, given, you know, how old it is. But yeah, anyway, I succumbed and spent the money on this. Now it turns out that when everything was said and done, I spent way, way, way too much money on this. And had I known in the end that it was going to cost that much, I would not have purchased it. Don't ask me how much I spent. I'm not going to tell you. But anyway, now that I have it, I'm happy, because I've always wanted a Model 28 Highway Patrolman. And you know, like I've said before, how many things in life can you buy that'll last 100 years? You know what I mean? So I got that. What else did I get? Well, what else I got was a pair of these perlite grips for my cowboy gun, my Peacemaker. And The guy that sold them to me said they were for a Colt, because I believe they make them in different versions for Ruger, Colt, so forth and so on. So he says this is for a Colt, and the gun that I have is made by U.S. Firearms, which is a Colt clone. So I get home, and lo and behold, I tried to put the grips on, and the grips don't fit. They're way oversized, and it turns out they give you instructions with it, and it looks like you got to do some gunsmithing in order to make them fit. See the drill and the grip pin hole and all this jazz. Tracing the outline, and so in other words, a gunsmith is going to have to fit them, unfortunately. Then, to make things worse, while I was checking my gun out, this pretty little thing here, well, it turns out it's broken now. There's something wrong. It sounds like the gears inside of it are grinding, and the cylinder is not spinning right. So I got a broken gun now also. What else did I get? Got an M14 cleaning kit, and which will go in the buttstock of either my SOCOM 16 or my full-size M1A that I bought roughly 25 years ago. And for you M1A owners, just so you know, if you don't already have it, you need to get one of these tools, these takedown tools, if you're going to clean out the the gas chamber or gas cylinder on your M1A. So, also got a another one of these C Products magazines. I believe this is a 30 rounder, and this one is the magazine for the 762 by 39 upper, you know, the one that fires AK bullets. And don't know how well that's going to function, because historically speaking they don't do too well, so we'll see how that goes later on. Anyway, folks, also on the table here is an SP1, an AR-15 SP1. I got this at a gun show a few months ago. And the curious thing about this rifle was, when I got it, the guy I bought it from really didn't tell me anything about the rifle. So I'm thinking, you know, this is just an old AR-15. Well, when I got it home, you know, I took it out and fired it, and right away after the first few rounds I noticed something. And what it is where this blue piece of blue masking tape is, I saw brass strike marks, because this thing is the one that does not have the what do you call it, the brass deflector. So I saw all these brass strike marks here, and what that told me was, if I'm not mistaken, this gun was virgin. It's never been fired before until I fired it. And the gentleman did not tell me, and I wish I had known that. Did a check on the serial number, and it turns out that, if I'm not mistaken, that this gun was made in 1981. So how about that? So that is how my gun show trip turned out. And so, without further ado, we are going to fire a few rounds. How about that? You know, tell you what. First, I'm going to fire this Model 28, seeing as I've never fired it before, and then I'll go to the AR in just a minute. So, stand by. Ratty. On camera.